Hello guys, welcome back to the channel Perceptive Mindset. Today I'll be answering a question from the comment section, and this one is from Sarah, and this concerns the Manitoba Provincial Nominee Program. So let's get right into it. This is from Sarah. It says, hi, for work experience within 5 years, do we include experience from home country? And how do we count experience if it is part-time? Do we count the hours? So to answer that question, let me just take you to the official response, and I am on the Manitoba immigration website and I'm under the FAQ section. Before doing that though, let's look at the MPNP online and look at that particular question. So this is a profile that I've completed just for the sake of the tutorial that I had done prior. And this is a question that asks, how many years of full-time work experience do you have in the past 5 years? And then it says, do not round up the total number of years. Now, there is a question mark here. Once you open that up, you can expand it, and then it will give you a breakdown of how you can work out or calculate what they mean by full-time employment. Now, we can also see that on the Manitoba immigration website under the FAQ, and I will link this in the description so that it can take you directly to this page. Now, right here, it says, how do I calculate my work experience? So we can expand that. And first and foremost, it says you must calculate the total amount of full years of work experience you have completed over the last 5 years prior to the date you are submitting your expression of interest. Now, first and foremost, it's full years, so you can't round up the years, okay? MPNP only considers full-time employment, which is defined as at least 30 hours of work for the same employer over the period of 1 week. So yes, this will include work experience that you have outside of Canada, provided that it falls within the last 5 years prior. That's the day before you submit your expression of interest profile online. So 5 years. So you look at now that you are going to submit your profile, the day before you submit it, what would have been 5 years exactly to that point? That is what they're asking for. Give them no more, give them no less, okay? The second point says that you should only count full years of work experience you have already completed, and you must not round up your work experience. And for example, if you have gained 7 months of work experience, you would have to answer less than 1 year because you cannot round it up. Even if you have 11 months, that does not total to 1 year. You cannot round it up. So if you have, say, 3 years and 9 months worth of full-time employment, and it's continuous employment, at least 30 hours for the same employer, 30 hours per week for the same employer. If you have, say, 3 years and 9 months, then you have to say 3 years of experience because you cannot round that up. All right, let's look at the next point. It says you can only declare full-time work experience you have gained up to the date that you are submitting your EOI, and must not add any future experience you may be gaining whilst waiting to submit your application to the MPNP. So up until the point that you are submitting your expression of interest, the 5 years of full-time experience that you have, that is what you must account for. You're not thinking about futuristic experience that you think you might gain. Should you, however, gain additional full year of work experience before you received your letter of advice to apply, that's the LAA, then you can always update your expression of interest profile with the new information, and your score will be adjusted. So let's say you had 3 years and 11 months of work experience whilst you were completing your expression of interest profile, but you submit your profile before getting the 4 years. Now, as long as you have not received a letter of advice to apply to submit your full application to the province, what this is saying is that what if you happen to now reach 4 years? You can easily adjust your answer, and I will show you how to do that in the profile. You can actually adjust that to reflect that it's now 4 years. But if you have 3 years and 9 months, 10 months, it's not yet a full year, then you cannot round up the figure. Now, even if you were working part-time or casually, as long as those part-time or casual work amount to at least 30 hours for the same employer over the period of 1 week, then you are still eligible. Okay? Even if you're working part-time or casually, provided that you meet this criteria, right, you are still eligible. And that was answered, and I've shared the answer from an email that was sent to the province, and that was answered. It does not matter if you are a full-time employee, part-time, or a casual employee, because you can have a casual job but you're still doing over 30 hours per week or 30 hours per week. As long as you meet this criteria, it matters not if you're full-time or part-time, then you are eligible, or you're considered to be doing full-time work, but it has to be continuous work for the same employer. At least weekly, you're doing 30 hours. All right, so let's look at this. It says you should only declare full-time work experience if you have gained up to the date you are submitting your EOI. You must not add any future experience whilst you're waiting. Okay, so we have gone through this, but you can always update your EOI with the new information and your score will be adjusted. Important to note, should you have less full-time work experience than you claim in your EOI, a subsequent application to the MPNP will be refused and you may be subjected to a ban, which would keep you from submitting another EOI for a period of 2 years. So if you misrepresent, and this is so crucial, why? Because oftentimes they focus on different specific drawers. For example, they might be focusing on a draw for persons who have, say, 5 years of full-time experience, or 3 years, or 4 years, and then because you misrepresented that you had 4 when in fact you had 3, then you would have be included in a draw that was specific for persons with 4 years of full-time experience up to the time of submitting, which misrepresented the amount of points that you have in the pool. Now, that is why that is important, because it is consequential. In this instance, it is consequential to you getting the invitation to apply. So you have to bear that in mind. So to answer the question, yes, you do include experience from your home country, and you will calculate the last 5 years just before you sent in your EOI. Now, what if whilst you were in Canada, you were working, be it full-time or part-time or casually? If that did not amount to a year of experience, then you cannot include that. Let's say you had, let's look at a scenario. Let's say you had 3 years and say 6 months in your home country. Okay, let's say you had 3 years and 6 months in your home country. You gained six additional months. Can you then merge the experience that you have in Canada with the experience that you had, that 3 years and 6 months? Can you then say, well, I have overall 4 years of experience? No, you cannot, because in Canada, you did not have at least 1 year of continuous employment for the same employer for 1 year. So you are less than a year, so you pretty much don't have any work experience in Canada. And likewise in your home country, you had 3 years and 6 months, so that 6 months did not equal to a year. You cannot round it up. You cannot merge the experience because it's different. I hope that lends some clarity, and if not, then you can always drop a comment and ask further questions for clarity, but that is where that is concerned. And let me just summarize again. For your work experience, it does include experience from your home country. Yes, so that's yes. And for how to count the experience, even if it is part-time, provided that you have met the condition, which is 30 hours minimum per week for the same employer over 1 year. So even if you are working casually, even if you are working part-time, as long as you have done 30 hours per week for 1 year for the same employer, then that takes care of that. Because once you've submitted your application, you will see the status saying application submitted, and then you will see where you can update all of these different things right there through your MPNP online portal. So thank you so much for watching. If you have any more questions, please use the comment section. I will go through and answer for the benefit of others as well. Like I said earlier, immigration processes are complex. They're not always straightforward. And sometimes we have to rely on persons' knowledge to help us because the information overload is real. There's so much information. There's a lot of processes that are involved, and there are different locations for you to find the information. And all the reference documents that I've used today, I will link that in the description so that you can pick that up right away, reference, and even do further reading on your own. But I do hope that you have some value added knowledge from the information that was shared today. As usual, if you appreciate the content, please do like the video. This will help the information to get to a lot more persons. Please subscribe to the channel if you have not done that, and if you know anyone who could benefit from this information, I do ask that you share. I am signing out today, and I will see you in the next video.